Hi, I'm Karen Barno with KarenBarno.com. I want to talk to you today about the one thing holding you back. I actually asked this question, I think on Friday, and just asked people, what do they feel is that one thing holding them back from themselves, from finding their greatness, just, holding them back. And I think I had over 70 people respond. And it was all different. It was relationships, it was husband, it was money, it was health, it was not knowing what to do. And a lot just said me, themselves. I'm holding myself back. But really, that isn't what's holding you back. It's not your health, it's not your money, it's not your husband. It's none of that. Now, it seems like that. It took me years to realize that it truly is not easier, but it's really one thing, and that's your ego. Your mind, your ego is designed to hold you in place. So if you're not happy where you're at, if you think it's your husband or your money or your job or your relationships, your health, you have to ask yourself, how did you get there? And what are you getting out of it? Now, I know that sounds funny because, I was talking to somebody, I was coaching somebody, one of my VIP clients over the weekend, and they're in an awful marriage. And I've said to her, but what are you getting out of it? And she's like, I'm not getting anything. It's terrible, he's abusive and all that. But I said, but you have to get something out of it. Otherwise, you would leave. And I know this is simplified. It was a much longer conversation than this, but you're not going to change until the pain is so much greater than what you're getting out of it. And I have friends that have stayed in marriages that were awful because it was a steady income. It was somebody to help them. It was so they wouldn't have to be alone. A lot of people don't want to be alone. A lot of people aren't comfortable with their own voice when they're alone. So they'll stay in these awful relationships because they're so afraid of being alone. And fear is just a four-letter word. It's just a teeny tiny little word that we've made into this big monster. And I have fear as well. So don't think, oh my, look at me, I've healed all my fear. Oh heck no. I was talking to somebody else over the weekend, somebody that I actually go to for coaching. And I was talking to my coach, and she's like, Karen, why don't you look within? Because it's not what you're saying it is. You're not being honest with yourself. And I'm like, oh yeah, I am. And I had the email this morning and say, you're right. I wasn't being, because it's fear. And fear comes from your ego. Because it's not that we fear the unknown. Our ego fears us leaving our little box. Our ego, as I say, is here to protect us. It's our flight or fight instincts. And that permeates through everything. We've been taught that the ego is, oh, baby, don't I look great? Oh, yeah, aren't I awesome? And that's a protection that we have. It's, one of the masks that we wear, but it's really here to protect you, to keep you from harm. Because when you get into harm's way, it doesn't know what to do. And so we build up this fear, and we have this fear to whatever, and we end up being in situations we don't want to be in, or we end up being, held back by whatever dynamic is holding us back. But when I was reading all those 66 people's, responses, it all came down to the fear of the unknown. Because what happens if you do leave him? What happens if you quit the job you hate? What happens if you take that vacation? I had somebody reach out to me on Messenger and said that she was fearful and she was offered a free vacation, and she's like, I don't know, What happens if you take it? What happens? The universe puts these opportunities into our pathway, whether it's a learning opportunity or it's a perfect moment opportunity for us. We have to be willing to step out of ourselves. We have to be willing to take a deep breath and say, I am scared to do this. The first time I got up in front of an audience, it was like, I am so afraid to do this. And the thing that compounded, just a little sidebar, not only was I afraid to get up on the audience, we were in a darkened room. It was an evening event, and the hotel had set the stage up wrong, and what was supposed to be another piece wasn't there, and I went flying off the stage, fell and went boom. It hurt. And I could have stopped at that moment and thought, you know what? I can't do this. This job's not for me. I can't start this association because look, everybody's laughing at me. I fell off a stage. It was really quite humorous, and people, we still chuckle over it. You can't allow fear to win, because if fear wins, you're gonna be filled with regret. If fear wins, you'll never be able to be you. You'll never be able to step into who you are. And yes, that's my phone ringing in the background. You'll never be able to be who you're meant to be, because you know deep down who you want to be. We all know because we dream it. When we're sitting at home or sitting out at the beach daydreaming, you're thinking, man, I really want to do X, Y, and Z. Don't let fear get in your way. Don't allow anything to hold you back. Take the opportunity, take steps. It could be baby steps, it's little steps. You don't have to, what is it? Eat the whole frog. I think Brian Tracy came out with the eat the frog one bite at a time. You don't have to eat the whole frog. You can just take one bite at a time. And by the way, if you've ever eaten frog, it tastes just like chicken, which is fascinating. Snake tastes like chicken, frog tastes like chicken. Overarching theme here. So anyway, I don't know what's holding you back. If you want to talk to me about it, let me know. Reach out through Messenger. If you have anything, well, what about this? What about that? If you're interested in coaching, jump over to my website. And in November, I'll be offering my first webinar. I'm so excited. It's a 90-minute webinar, 60 minutes chat, and then 30 minutes to 45 minutes Q&A. So if you're interested, jump over to my website. It's over there too, called Heal Your Trauma. Thanks a lot, you guys. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye. Oh, and if you're watching this on YouTube, give me a subscribe. My page is all the way up to, I think, 24. And I want you to be powerful. I want you to stand in your greatness. And here is to love and gold dust in the air. Talk to you guys later.